Morning, everyone. Boker Tov. We're starting the next Siman, Siman Rish Samech Daled, which the title is Dinei Petila ve'Hashem, laws of the wick and the oils. Some parts won't be applicable to us because we go and buy the wicks at the store and that's it. Take care of our wicks. Back in the day, they had to make wicks, and so we'll see a little bit of things. But the first halacha here, the Shulchan Aruch basically says that you're not supposed to make wicks that can flicker on Shabbat, but rather a good wick that the fire is going to be good. And the examples, the types of material that are not good is wool or hair, and items that are good are linen or cotton or cannabis. Okay, but then Mefarshim say cannabis is also, some say not good. Okay, we'll leave that for a different thing. And what's the reason for this? Is because if the candle's flickering, we're worried on Shabbat you're going to move the oil to let it draw, to try to get it to draw more and make a better light, and that's considered also making a fire on Shabbat. And the Rama says that if you have such a candle like this that's flickering, you're not allowed to benefit from it on Shabbat. So stay away from such things. Again, you get the wicks in the store, or you get regular candles. I think generally they're made from cotton. You're good. But what one of the Farshim over here talk about is, what about do you need actual oil and a wick, or can you do with something else? So let's say wax candles. So that's okay. But the question here is, what about electric candles, electricity? So this is obviously in a case where, worst case scenario, let's say you're in the hospital, you can't light a candle there. So there are those that say no. But Rabbi Avad Yosef says yes, one can, and even make a bracha on it. This would not apply to LED because the other bulbs are considered fire halakha, as opposed to an LED light. Just the Rabbanan type of fire. Now, and his proof for it is because there's a famous story in the Gemara that says that Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa was so poor that one time before Shabbat he lit his Shabbat candles with a wick and vinegar instead of oil. And his daughter, she's crying, she said, it's not going to work, it's not going to... And he said, Hashem, the one that said that candles could work with oil, he'll say that it could work with vinegar as well. And everything's a ness. We just take it for granted. We're used to, wicks with oil, that's how it works. Wicks with vinegar will work. Wick with water will work. But who said that? Hashem said that. And that's it could work here, it could work there. So Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa said, and it worked. And therefore, Avad Yosef says, so you see, the build and makeup of a candle doesn't need to be a wick and oil in worst case scenarios. So worst case scenario, one could use electricity. That's that for the halachot. I just want to point out, of course, today is the nachala, the hilulah of the Baba Sali. If anyone didn't light a candle yesterday, you can light a candle today at some point till sunset. Leilu nishmato. And just something to point out, that of course everyone knows of the Baba Sali for great miracles, unbelievable miracles. But we have to remember, where does all the miracles come from? It comes from the Torah. The Baba Sali was a massive Talmid Chacham, was a great Dayan in Eretz Yisrael. And they say one time that they brought him a sefer, a new sefer, and he so wanted to learn the sefer, he stayed up all night, put his feet in a bucket of ice water to stay up all night to learn the sefer. The Baba Sali was Kulo Torah. Of course, in addition to Torah, he was kavanah and tefillah, and also he separated himself from worldly things and like food and things like that, and therefore he was able to get to a very, very high level. But the whole basis of it is, of course, the kedusha of Torah. It was not the hocus pocus or other different things. It was the kedusha of Torah. And B'ezrat Hashem, let us connect to the Torah in a very strong way. B'zchuto, zechuto yagen alenu, and al kol ha'am Yisrael yimu amen. B'ezrat Hashem. So we have mincha today at 4:55. My hands are a little bit full because my wife's out of town. So Zoom and after Rosh Hashanah we'll wait for next week. B'ezrat Hashem. Have a good day, everyone. Tanat v'liyahu.